Hey everybody, and welcome to this review of Mortal Kombat 2. I just watched last night Mortal Kombat 2 on cinemas, and there's a lot I have to unpack on this movie. First of all, I won't bore you with details and go straight to my verdict. It's bad. It's honestly a bad movie. It's not only a bad Mortal Kombat movie, it's a bad movie overall. And I'll go in detail as to why, but that's why I wanted to give my verdict front and center. Because in this case, it will be easier for me just to go ahead and explain why and go into detail, because I believe that in order to give a good review, you have to go into every minute detail, and that includes spoiling. So you've been warned, and from this point onward, it's all spoilers, okay? So first of all, when we watched the trailers, we got sold the idea that this movie was going to be about Johnny Cage, isn't it? But in the end, the movie is not about Johnny Cage. I mean, sure, Johnny Cage is there, and Carl Urban interprets Johnny Cage. But Johnny Cage is actually eliminated from the tournament in the first fight. He doesn't do anything at all. But on trailers, it's sold as Johnny Cage is going to be the protagonist. Now, we could say, well, it's a trailer. A trailer is not supposed to show you everything from a movie. It's supposed to just hype you up. And I agree, that's mainly the functionality, but also it gives you an idea as to why you would want to watch a movie, as to what it's going to happen and what it's about. In this case, it was two things. First of all, Johnny Cage, front and center. Number two, Carl Urban. And don't get me wrong, I really like Carl Urban. I really liked him as Judge Dredd. I really liked him in The Boys as Billy Butcher. I really love him there. I really liked him as Eomer in The Lord of the Rings. I also liked him in Star Trek. So yeah, I liked him as the Doom guy in the Doom movie from 2000 somethings. But I don't think that he's a good Johnny Cage. Actually, I think he's a very, very bad Johnny Cage. Because Johnny Cage has always been, in the first moments of every Mortal Kombat reboot, a washed up Hollywood actor who used to be great, who is a great martial artist, but he's washed up. He doesn't have to be old to be washed up. He only has to be washed up. And that has always been the story with Johnny Cage. His career is consistently going down, and he enters a tournament for a way to re-promote his career. But in this case, he is old, he's past beyond his prime, and he no longer has the attitude to keep going. The way that he's introduced to the story is extremely forced, and he doesn't do anything. Now, the real movie starts with Kitana's story, how she had to see how King Jared, his father, was killed by Shao Kahn and ultimately conquering Edenia through the 10th consecutive win in Mortal Kombat. So by this point, it's settled as a Kitana movie, and I don't hate that idea. But we go in expecting Johnny Cage, and the first thing we see is Kitana. Now, there is a protagonist inconsistency all around the movie. First, we believe it's Kitana, then it's Johnny Cage, then it's nobody, then it's Kitana at the end. That is something that makes us not being able to focus on what's going on screen or focus on the thread of the story, which in the end, that's pretty much a movie, a story. But Kitana doesn't learn anything. I mean, she beats the big bad evil guy from Villenberg, which is Shao Kahn, but she didn't progress as a character. Her character was pretty much designed from the first moment of the movie. She didn't like Shao Kahn. It's not like she realized something and decided to betray Shao Kahn like in the Mortal Kombat 9 game, which was the first reboot, when she found out that she wasn't in fact the daughter of Shao Kahn, that in fact her father was King Jared, and that Sindel was under some kind of spell when she was resuscitated. Here, she already hates Shao Kahn and already wants him to fall. The one that learns something, it's Johnny Cage, but that doesn't pay anything off. Oh, but he destroys the amulet. He didn't, not by himself at least. In order to destroy the amulet of Shinnok, which gave Shao Kahn immortality, and we'll speak about it in a moment, needed to have damage from Scorpion's Fire Breath, from Kano's Laser Eye, and Energy Blast from Jade, only to be finished off by the kick from Johnny Cage. So he does pretty much nothing, really, in the movie. I mean, he does something, he does stuff, he appears in the movie, but he has no real impact on the story per se by learning anything. Hell, even Cole Young learned something and used his powers to beat Goro, which I'm not justifying. I'll talk about Cole Young a bit in the future. Okay, actually that will be my next point. Just let me close on this part with the protagonist inconsistency, that the movie is about nobody. The movie isn't about Johnny Cage, it isn't about Kitana, it isn't about Liu Kang, it isn't about Kung Lao, Noob Saibot, or Scorpion. Nobody is the protagonist. By everybody trying to be somewhat of a protagonist, then nobody is. Now, Cole Young. I know that Cole was very frowned upon on the previous movie. I'm included on the people that didn't like Cole. But I didn't like Cole not because he isn't a Mortal Kombat character from the video games. I don't like him because he was poorly written. Again, he learned something, but he learned nothing at the same time. What I'm trying to say with this is that Cole Young on the previous movie, he was like an I can't do it kind of character, and somebody tells him, yeah, you can. And then he's like, yes, I can. And I'm going to beat the big bad evil guy from Villenberg, which was Goro in the previous movie. So that's actually silly because it doesn't feel earned. And it also happens here with both Johnny Cage and Kitana as characters. But Cole Young as a character, if he's already there, at least make good use of him. There's a lot of people that actually tackle Cole Young's death against Shao Kahn as a positive, and I think it's a negative. Not because he dies, not because of the way that he dies, but because his character's death meant nothing to me. Jax's death meant something to me at least, because when he died, there was an impact for me, because Jax had already been established in the movie. I actually like him. He had not a lot of time on screen, but the time that he had, he didn't waste it. Cole barely had any form of dialogue, any form of presence in the movie before his death, so I couldn't bond with him so that his death actually meant something. Now, this is a form of the director to say, hey, we'll listen to you guys. Of course, I killed Cole Young because I actually listened to the fans of Mortal Kombat and I delivered of getting him killed in a gory way. Of course I listened. But that is not listening. Killing off Cole Young is not a positive. Not in itself. And it shouldn't be seen as a positive in itself. This only makes the character a waste of space and time. Why not kill him off screen? Why not start the movie with him dying in an accident or whatever? There are better ways to dispose of him if that's what you wanted. But that's part of the problem. He was seen as someone that had to die just to get some sympathy points. And a lot of people actually fell for that. A lot of people actually speak about Cole's death as the redemption arc the movie needs, which it's not. The biggest problem that Mortal Kombat 2021 and Mortal Kombat 2 on 2026 have is that they lack everything that made the 1995 movie great. And I know what a lot of people might say, oh, it's just another nostalgia person, you know, someone that likes old things because that's what he saw when he was a kid. And look, I've watched the Mortal Kombat movie throughout my whole life, not only when I was a kid. I watched it in the cinemas at 3 years old. That was a horrible parenting decision, but hey, I loved the movie. I watched it in my teenage years, I've watched it as an adult, and I can say that it's good because it is a good martial arts movie first and foremost. It does everything right to keep you hooked on the action. Story passes to a second point, but it still gives a compelling story. In Mortal Kombat 1995, there was motivation for Liu Kang to actually want to beat Shang Tsung, which is something that Cole Young didn't have. Cole Young didn't have a motivation onto why to beat Goro. Sure, Goro was trying to kill his family, and then he unleashed his arcana and all that bullshit that the 2021 movie had in mind. But here's the thing. In the 2021 movie, there was the first 7 minutes of the movie that were actually great, that embodied what a good Mortal Kombat film could be, which is a good martial arts movie. That's what they needed to focus on instead of trying to make it just fan service for the sake of fan service. The 1995 movie rarely had an accurate depiction of the special moves of the characters. Sure, Johnny Cage hits in the nutsack to Goro. That's there. Sure, we see that Scorpion uses the "get down here" line, but it's not overused. And yes, we see Sub-Zero freeze stuff, but also we see martial artists being martial artists on the scene. They're being the acrobats. They're doing the choreography, and they're doing it well. The punches and kicks have impact. The faces of the characters show an emotion. Here, sometimes they show emotions, and there are good fights in Mortal Kombat 2. There's the Kung Lao and Liu Kang fight, which is actually really good. That only shows the level of the knowledge in martial arts both of the actors have, and I honestly can only praise them for that. Sadly, it's a very, very brief moment. The rest of the fights in the movie and Mortal Kombat 2 have an overuse of special effects, and there are 2 or 3 scenes where the special effects, the blasts or anything, are too bright that you can see what's going on in the background. The scene where Raiden's throat is slit by Kung Lao's hat, from the wound there's a beam of light that is coming out of Raiden, and you can see that in the background Jax and Sonya are fighting some goons over there, some minions, but we can't see what's going on because the light coming from Raiden's injury, it's blocking everything, and that is bad. Because I want to see the action. I don't care that Raiden's injured at the moment. I mean, I do care, but I want to see the action. It's an action movie. It's a fighting game that we're basing this movie off of. So, martial arts should be front and center. Now, there's an excessive use of special effects, like I said. Sure, Liu Kang's fire need to be special effects. We're not gonna burn the hands of the guy. But I'm talking about also the Shadow clone from Noob Saibot. He looks off, like really off, like bad, horrible. I would have preferred another actor in a completely black suit or darkish purple. Also, there's an excessive use of slow motion and wires. Slow motion can be cool, used measuredly, when it's used correctly, not when it's used every fight. It has to be special. Slow motion is supposed to be special. Imagine the Matrix movies, which basically set the standard for slow motion. If every scene had slow motion, if every scene from the Matrix had slow motion. If I recall correctly, the first movie only had as slow motion the classic scene where Neo is dodging the bullets while he's leaning back. But in this movie they use it a lot, and on very unnecessary and unflattering scenes. Like when Johnny Cage is dodging one of Kano's laser eyes, for example. Or in the fight between Liu Kang and Kung Lao. It's just overused. It's just a lot. I want to see the action flow, not being set back or slowed down for me to, air quotes, enjoy what's going on the screen. I want to see what's going on in real time. I want it to feel fast. I want it to feel fluent. I want to feel the impact, not slow down to a crawl to be like, whoa, cool scene. You know, they could have done way better with that. And they use a lot of wires, and I mean a lot. One of these most obvious scenes is almost at the end, where Shao Kahn hits Sonya with the hammer and she goes flying horizontally, spinning around, you know, like the blade of a helicopter. That's just, it looks silly. It looks really, really silly. So yeah, the fights were horrible, and it is a martial arts movie first and foremost because it's based on a fighting game. It should be focusing on the martial arts, on the choreography, on the camera angles and camera shots. I don't dislike that there are cuts in a fight to show you another perspective. But honestly, if you want to see what I'm talking about, make yourself a favor and watch the movie The Raid. I recommend the first one more than the second one because the first one is the one that actually set everything in motion. It's honestly one of the best, if not the best, martial arts movie we've had in a long, long time. Before all the shaky cam nonsense, before all the unnecessary use of wires, you have the actors acting on scene. Now, the soundtrack. Yes, the original song of Techno Syndrome appears at the last second of the movie. That's good, that's a positive. I've honestly have never understood why on the 2021 movie they made a really bad remix and waited for the song to appear at the credits, just like in Mortal Kombat 2. Look, that song is iconic to Mortal Kombat at this point. You cannot think Mortal Kombat song and not think about Techno Syndrome. It's impossible. There is no other song that actually resembles Mortal Kombat. It's ingrained in Mortal Kombat lore and culture at this point. But it's okay, they put it in the credits, cool, thanks. You know, in the first movie, on the 1995 movie, it appeared on several moments. Now, the 1995 movie soundtrack was pretty much techno. I don't know why, but for some reason, it felt accurate. It was good. In this case, the soundtrack in Mortal Kombat 2 feels more like Marvel Avengers soundtrack. You know what I mean? Trumpets and strings and a chorus of voices like oh, 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 to depict how the thing is going. It's boring, it's generic, it's not memorable. I remembered it because I was like, why didn't they go with a more hyped up kind of soundtrack? Something with a better beat, not as in a superhero movie kind of song. Why not make a soundtrack that evokes the idea of fighting? But not fighting for the greater good, but fighting for survival. That's why in the 1995 movie, the techno beats felt good, because they felt like personal. They felt good. Now, there's a huge thing that I have with this movie, and that's the villains. Quan Chi and Shang Tsung don't do anything. First thing, Shang Tsung just pretty much has 2 lines in the whole movie and has 3 scenes, and that's it. He doesn't do anything, so don't expect to see Shang Tsung. Quan Chi, on the other hand, I don't know who gave directions to the actor, but that person needs to be slapped hard in the face, because it seems like the actor that plays Quan Chi didn't even watch any cutscene with Quan Chi in it, and instead he watched the animated show on the episode or episodes, I don't remember, that Quan Chi was present. because the way that the actor talks as Quan Chi resembles way more the voice of the character in the animated series. You know, his voice in Mortal Kombat has always been deep. You know, he always speaks like this. He always tries to convey some sort of range of voice that is deep and mysterious. Someone you actually don't want to mess with. His only voice is intimidating.
What do you offer?
I offer the souls of Earthrealm warriors who die in this conflict. They would agree.
You are a cavalier with other men's souls.
But in here,
He speaks like this, my lord. They battle Shao Kahn's mindless automatons, leaving you and I free to run our little errand. The answer to our quest lies there.
you know, he speaks like a minion. He speaks like a bitch. He could have been better. He could have been done way better. But they fucked it up. Now, there's something that really hurt me, and that is Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn, it's the ultimate menace. He's the ultimate badass of ultimate badasses of the villains in all video game history. That's because he's tough to beat. He's not impossible to beat. He's not immortal, but he is very hard to beat. You have to use all your knowledge and practice not only to get to his fight in both Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, and Mortal Kombat 9, but you also have to learn how to fight him because he doesn't behave like a regular fighter. So you'll need to think outside the box, you'll need to work on your reflexes, learn your combos, and all that good stuff. Because he's tough, right? In this movie, he's a little bitch. Everybody can spank his ass without any problem at all. That's why he has to resort to cheating and become immortal through the Shinnok's amulet. Now, I don't hate the idea that Shao Kahn cheats because he's a cheater. I mean, he's the big bad evil guy from Villenberg. But Shao Kahn has always been a cheater as to try to bend the rules to his favor. Now, this could be a bend the rules to his favor kind of thing, but he never wanted to see himself or perceive himself as weak. In here, he knows he's weak and that he doesn't stand a chance. That's why he gets the amulet to ensure victory. He can tank damage. We saw that in Jared's fight in the beginning of the movie, but he wasn't, he wasn't weak. He could take damage and survive and thrive in it. But in here, he was like, well, yeah, this Cole guy, this Jax guy, hell, even Johnny Cage, who doesn't have powers, he's gonna beat my ass for sure. So let's cheat. So that's the shitty part. He's not intimidating. You only know that the movie gave him and acknowledged his plot armor. But that sucks. Shao Kahn is supposed to be very strong and extremely powerful. He's supposed to be a very skilled combatant. He's supposed to be the ultimate menace to Earthrealm. And he's not. He clearly isn't. So that hurt, honestly. Now, the story, it's Mortal Kombat, it's a tournament. But the tournament takes place in very odd places. I know it's the pit. I know that it's the Deadpool. I know where they're based from. Most of the scenery looks odd. I mean, it felt claustrophobic in most of the arenas, except in the Liu Kang and Kung Lao fight. The pit, it felt like a 2 meter by 2 meter square with a pillar on a corner and spikes coming out of the ground. Instead of feeling like this vast arena at the bottom of a very large bridge at the top with spikes on the ground, which it's what it's supposed to be. The Deadpool, it's just like a very small room with acid. Instead of this large hallway of torture that it's supposed to be how they used it in game. This has to do mainly with budgeting and all that stuff, but it still felt really, really small. The Shao Kahn versus Cole fight felt like they were at arm's reach of both of them from both ends. Like, if Cole stands in one of the edges of the Deadpool and Shao Kahn in the other, they would only need to reach out their hands to touch each other. So it felt wrong. Now, the town in Outworld where they fight, the marketplace or whatever it is, again, claustrophobic, small. It felt odd, it looked odd. Now, if there was something that I could recommend, because it seems that they want to make a third movie, and if they base the idea of that solely on revenue, I think that they'll greenlit the third movie. I will give a couple of recommendations. First of all, fire whoever you have as in charge of the choreographies and hire someone better. Second, add minions to the fights. Have your characters a lot of people to fight. That's very important in martial arts movies. We want to see the action, we want to see the fights. That's why the 1995 movie succeeded, because it followed the idea on how to do a good martial arts movie. That's what you need to follow. Don't focus on adding a lot of Mortal Kombat characters. Add the perfect amount and have that perfect amount fight a lot of different people. Either good guys versus bad minions or bad guys versus good minions. Use Shaolin monks as cannon fodder for Shang Tsung, for Quan Chi, for Shao Kahn. You know, use Edenians. Make them look cool. Make your characters look cool. Have your good guys fight Tarkatans, fight ninjas, fight every bad guy on their Shao Kahn's payroll. But do not focus on one-on-one fights. The one-on-one fights are supposed to feel special. It's supposed to be two very skilled fighters going against each other, not just a fight for the sake of a fight. They need to feel special. The fight between, for example, Sonya and Sindel needed to feel special. It needed to feel as something that resembles this idea of these two great fighters going at each other. Instead of this, two characters spam their video game moves. In the end, this movie was just, well, fan service, and a very bad at best. No, I don't care if we see the characters do their special moves. I mean, it's a plus, for sure. But if that's the only thing that you want to give me, I would prefer to play the games. I would prefer to actually watch a fan-made animation or a fan-made movie about it. Hell, even the 2011 web series for Mortal Kombat, I think it was Legacy, had good fighting choreographies and effects. I would rather watch that than instead of paying to go to a movie theater and watching this movie. In the end, if you enjoyed the movie, don't let me stop you. If you liked it, you liked it. I didn't, for the reasons that I already mentioned. But in the end, I cannot recommend it to any fan of Mortal Kombat that has been a fan at least since 2011. If you came into Mortal Kombat in the last 2 games, 3 games tops, from Mortal Kombat X and onward, I think you might enjoy it. But this movie is inconsistent. Oh, and one last inconsistency before I leave. The Liu Kang, my planet needs me kind of thing sucks. It really does. I mean, he literally did the Poochie meme from The Simpsons.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Wow, Poochie came from another planet?
My planet needs me, flies away, and it only lacked the Liu Kang died on his way to save Kung Lao. You know, it only needed that. But it's really bad. Honestly, I would have wanted for the movie to do way better, but it didn't. Well, thanks for sticking around to my ranting of this movie. Again, if you enjoy it, don't allow me or my words to take away your enjoyment. If you liked it, cool, good for you. It's good that you like it. It's not bad if you did. I just didn't like it because my expectations were different. They weren't high expectations. I just wanted to be better than the 2021. And it is, but I'm not saying it as a compliment. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope that I see you on the next video. This has been Dortlik speaking to you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.